Hello, good morning. This is the AutomaTech and CB hosted webinar event for our solution providers and systems integrators that we're so lucky to be working with. And we'll be starting this webinar in about 4 minutes. Thank you. I'll make further announcements as we get closer to our start time. All right, for those of you that are joining, this is the AutomaTech and CB Pacific Solution Provider Program launch with our friends at General Electric and Portland Coffee Roasters. We'll be starting in about 3 minutes, and I'll have a further announcement as we get closer to our start time at the top. Thank you. For those of you who just joined, this is the AutomaTech and CB sponsored webinar event with our friends at GE and Portland Coffee Roasters. Thanks for getting up in the morning. We appreciate it. We're going to be starting this in about 2.5 minutes. And this is the Solution Provider Program launch for our system integrator friends and partners. So we'll be starting again in about 2 minutes. Thank you. For those of you who have just joined, this is the AutomaTech and CB sponsored Portland Coffee Roasters webinar event with our friends at GE. And this is exclusively for our solution providers and system integrator friends. And thanks for getting up in the morning. Hopefully you received some of your coffee. I know we had a ton of people that signed up for this event. And so, again, many thanks for your time. We'll get started in about 90 seconds. Thank you so much. We'll get started about 45 seconds or so. It's almost at the top of the hour, but thanks for joining us on this early morning. So this is an event that's sponsored by AutomaTech and CB Pacific, and it's an exclusive event to talk about the new and revised solution provider program that our friends at GE have rekindled, and we're really excited about talking about this morning. We're also going to chat a little bit about some of the automation software enhancements and give all of the SIs that are out there a sneak peek at iFix 2023, Simplicity, and Ops Hub. So really kind of exciting things that are happening. We'll get going in about 30 seconds. Thank you. All right, I've got about 8:01 Central Time, so it's 9:01 Eastern, and it's dark 30 on the West Coast with Evan, our friend from Portland Coffee Roasters. So hey, welcome. This is Steve Zamaki of AutomaTech, and it is absolutely my pleasure to be hosting this event early in the morning for all of our systems integrator partners, friends, and companies out there that are classified as people that make stuff work at our customers. So we appreciate all the help and assistance over the years with the integrators who are doing, the design, the consulting, the implementation, the commissioning, the startup, and the countless hours using GE and AutomaTech solutions. So thank you very much for your partnership. We really, really appreciate it. Again, as I mentioned, this event is exclusively for our system integrator friends and partners out there. So with that being said, I'm going to go on to the next slide. So the guest speakers, and then we've got Evan Moore of Portland Coffee Roasters is going to be talking about the Portland coffee that hopefully you received. And if you didn't receive it, it will be on the way. So Evan is a barista extraordinaire, awesome guy. And Portland Coffee Roasters is one of our customers using our products today that we've had a great multi-year relationship with. Also on the phone, we've got Tim Ogden that's going to be talking from GE, who's the Senior Director of the SP program, who'll be talking about the program. And then Jimmy, and for those of you who've been around GE for years, Jimmy is a great guy that is super knowledgeable on all of GE's automation products. So it's great to have everyone on the phone with us today in this webinar. So the topics, we're just going to kick things off with Portland Coffee Roasters to just talk about the coffee that was sent out to you. And then we want to, point number 2, inform and educate on GE's updated SP program. And then, as I mentioned, talk about iFix, Simplicity Configuration Hub, and Ops Hub. And then we'll do some Q&A and wrap up at the end of the hour. So again, welcome and thank you so much for your time. We're going to have some fun and make this interactive. So Evan, I'm going to kind of throw it over to you, and I'll stop the share after you have a couple of things. And if everyone will then maximize your video, and we can watch Evan talk about some awesome coffee. So Evan, it's all yours.
Yeah, hi everyone. Thanks for having me, Steve. Hope everyone got their coffee already. If not, it's on the way. So yeah, I've worked at Portland Coffee Roasters for about 10 years now. I'm from Oregon myself, so we have a pretty robust coffee culture here, as many of you might know. This coffee you have is a Portland house, so it's kind of our house coffee, but it's a blend of coffees from Guatemala and Costa Rica. And Guatemalan coffees are usually fairly sweet, a little chocolatey, and Costa Rican coffee, this one particularly, is kind of tangy and fruity. So what we're doing there is just blending them about 60-40 to kind of get a flavor profile that's clean, but kind of has a balance of both of those kind of profiles to make a good coffee. And Portland Coffee Roasters, we've been around since 1996, completely independently owned and operated the whole time in Portland. Most of our operations are here in the Northwest, but if you ever do come through Portland, we have 3 cafes at the Portland Airport. So, if you are traveling, it's a pretty easy way to try our coffee. And also check out our website at PortlandCoffeeRoasters.com. I included a little discount code there for you, 20% off the web store if anyone's interested in visiting the site there. So yeah, if anyone has any questions about coffee, this coffee in particular, or our company, I'd love to open the floor up. And or brewing this coffee, what works best for this? Happy to answer anything or any thoughts. Is anyone drinking it right now?
Hey, Evan, this is Steve. I'm
Yeah,
drinking coffee, but it's unfortunately not yours because mine hasn't arrived yet. So
gotcha.
I'm disappointed to try the sampling of your coffee for sure.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, so this coffee, the Guatemalan portion is probably one of my favorites. I love coffees from Guatemala. It's from probably the most well-known coffee growing region there. Uh, and same with the Costa Rican. It's even there, it's pretty high elevation coffee, so that goes a long ways to making a nice, robust, well-grown coffee. So yeah, and you see behind me, this is a little mural of one of our farms in Tanzania. So those are all coffee shrubs behind me. They usually grow about 4 to 6 feet high. If you don't know, coffee grows on a red cherry with the coffee beans, the coffee seeds inside there. And once it's picked, the fruit is washed off. The seeds are processed in a couple different ways, which kind of leads to different flavor profiles in those coffees. So both of these, though, are water processed. So that means the berries washed off quite quickly from the seed. So it leaves kind of a cleaner taste than more like a naturally processed coffee. What is the difference between premium and discount coffee? Is it the bean or process? Yeah, it's a lot of different things. It's the farms. Some farms are much larger, producing mass quantities, and then you're able to buy the source coffee, the green coffee, for cheaper, and roast it in really large batches. So I would say the difference between the two mostly goes back to the farm, the source, where it's coming from, and the contracts that go into it. And how large the farm is and how intensive they are in taking care of it, I think. So it's kind of just the difference between mass produced and kind of specialty is mostly the size of the farms. Yeah. Fridge or cabinet for storage? Yeah. The enemy of fresh coffee is light, heat, and air. So just keep it in an airtight, cool, dark place. It doesn't have to go in the freezer or anything like that. The freezer will kind of dull the flavor of the coffee. So just cool, dark place. Yeah.
Okay,
And we're
Evan.
receiving some comments that some people received the coffee and they're looking forward to drinking it this weekend.
Great. Yeah. Oh yeah.
I think
So if you really like it, yeah, please go to our website. You got 20% off there. Um, yeah. Any other questions for me?
Hey, Evan, thanks a lot. Nice job. We really appreciate. It looks like Marianne might have raised her hand. You want to just type your question in the Q&A section? Okay. Well, hey, Evan, thanks a lot. I'm going to just take the screen back, but you have a great morning, and thank you again so much for getting up early in the morning and being with us. Okay.
Yeah, you bet. And everyone enjoy the coffee. Thank you very much, Steve.
Thank you. All right. So Jen, can you see my screen at this point?
I can, yes.
Excellent. So I'm going to give a 2-slide update on AutomaTech and CB and who we are for some of the folks that know us. So again, welcome to this event. This is exclusively for SPs to roll out the SP program. A little bit of AutomaTech and CB. We've been around for 25 plus years. We're one of GE's we are GE's largest licensed supplier of solutions globally. We have a host of really, really great bench strength solution architects that honestly, they're some of the best in the world on SCADA, high availability computing, security, OT platforms, cloud-based platforms. Give us a call. If you're looking to connect things up, you're looking for Ethernet gateways, edge devices, we have probably seen a lot over the years, and we can help you out. We also complement systems integrators. We have integrators that may not have the skills and capabilities to do like a Stratus high availability jumpstart. So we'll commonly help integrators out there. We absolutely help train integrators. If you have new people that haven't touched our software in a while, you have new, junior engineers that want to get spun up to speed on our products and technologies, we're here for you. We are here to complement our integrators. We don't compete with you guys. We never want to do that. We want to bring business with and for you. We also do software migration assistance with our integrators. As there may be things around high availability, virtualization, MES road mapping, even complex SCADA migrations. When you start thinking about redundant SCADA pairs that are out there, redundant data collection, redundant servers with security, firewalls, et cetera, it's only getting more complex out there. And so we're really we're here to help the integrator community out there for sure. And, most important to us is how do we make you and your utilization rates better, right? So if there are ways that we can further your knowledge to make you more efficient so you can bill more with customers and do less work, we get that business model inside and out, and we're here to help you for sure. We also do a bunch of local events and training, so give us a call, love to help. The solutions we provide, I'm not going to go through all the buckets, but I'll just go through the highlights of them. Controls and SCADA and automation, MES systems, data collection systems, industrial cloud systems. We had an unbelievable event last night with our friends from AWS. We had over a 70%-ish, right around there, participation rate. So that was just fantastic. Talking about the evolution, the migration, especially around historians from GE that are now native in the AWS platform. As I mentioned, systems and network infrastructure support. We absolutely help integrators and customers out with those types of things. And then cybersecurity, when you think about, how to protect the OT infrastructure, what's the best way to do that? Getting into cybersecurity assessments, we do those as well, and we can absolutely complement your skills that are out there. So in short, we help connect, control, visualize, analyze, and help optimize. And when you think about where things are going in and around control networks, data collection with control networks, data collection from sensors outside of the control architectures that are there, we can help you. So don't be afraid to call us. We love to chat and support you guys out there. So thank you so much. With that, Mr. Tim Ogden and dear friend, it is all yours.
Thanks, Steve, and thanks everybody for joining this morning. Like Steve said, I head up the solution provider program. This is what I look like. I'll give a wave, and I'm going to turn my video off just to make sure I don't have any bandwidth issues. But yeah, Steve mentioned that you were pretty excited that we've recently launched a new solution provider program. And we're here today to talk a little bit about that. The program launched back in June, and hopefully you're starting to see some of the new benefits trickle out and trickle down to you. So hop to the next slide, please. Just real quickly, for those of you that are either GE stockholders or just are tracking what's going on with GE, I wanted to let you know that GE is planning on splitting up into 3 publicly traded companies. They're going to be independent of each other, and GE Digital will reside inside of the GE Vernova public offering. Next slide, please. So Vernova is going to be comprised of 12 individual businesses. And for the most part, the way we're structured today inside of GE, we fall under the energy group today, which will transition into the name Vernova. So GE Digital is one of those 12 businesses, and will continue to serve our 20,000 manufacturing customers globally. Next slide, please. So we mentioned that we launched the program back in June, and our key message to our SI community has always really been the same. So, number one, GE's diversified ourselves of our PLCs and our hardware, and so that we're 100% focused on industrial automation and manufacturing execution software, or MES. Our products, functionally have not changed, and we have a vision that continues to be driven by our customer demand, our systems integrator input, since they're a big component of it, and also technology trends. When we talk a little bit about our systems integrators, over 95% of our installations globally have been put in by our third-party systems integrator partners, and so we're proud of that today. Our goal is really to re-energize our SI focus, really drive competency training, and then talk more and more about our product roadmap and where you'll see us implement new solutions. The second item I really want to drive forward is that, we are 100% focused on software, so we are hardware agnostic. And as you start to see some of the changes come out, we're in our second year of our coordinated product release. We've launched new products. We've launched updates to our current products. So on the right, you'll see some of the brand new products that have launched over the past year, and we're pretty excited to talk more about those. Next slide, please. So if we talk a little bit about the new program structure, it's really, there's three components, and it's pretty straightforward. Number one, we kind of look at, and we put 3 tiers in to really focus on relationships. So there are some companies that are very spec driven, and so we have our member tier for that. And then as we start to look at people that have more of a GE preference, we have a gold and a platinum relationship that really is focused on companies that really standardize on our technology. We're looking at our business development engagement. So we're looking at expanded practices around, helping our integrators move into digital transformation, move up the stack of Industry 4.0, and really look at where they can expand their footprint with their existing customers or into new markets. And then another big component is really around segment competency and experience. So one of the biggest things our customers are asking us for is, for us to benchmark skill sets and certifications, and really to point us towards people that have both industry and product knowledge. Our segmentation has been split into 2 key groups. So number one is industrial automation, and the second is manufacturing execution. Okay. Now we've implemented a new certification, and so we've launched 3 new tests recently, and each of those is comprised of 50 open book questions, 30 minutes on the tests, and there's no charge for our systems integrators. And then we've implemented both partner level certifications and company level certifications as well. Next slide, please. So if we talk about the program cornerstones, really our buckets of benefits are comprised of 4 key groups. So, delivery of the products and the architecture, so the technical resources, the development tools, and things like that. What I've done is kind of highlighted some of the areas we've added new enhancements to the program. And what I would recommend, I'm not going to go through everyone today, but definitely reach out to your AutomaTech rep, and we'd be happy to step you through some of those individual changes if needed. Competency and knowledge is the second area. Again, that's where we introduce our product training, our product roadmaps, competency development. Third, business development. So we want to help you grow your business. So whether it's visibility to your company, getting you on our partner finder, co-marketing, putting together some success plans to get you into new technology segments or up the Industry 4.0 stack, we want to help you grow, because when you grow and you grow your business, we grow with you. And the last component is technical support. So how can we help you with product and technology support, customer success engagements, or just asking some of our solutions architects key questions, how to introduce new products and things like that. So whether it's the GE digital support team or AutomaTech solutions architects, we're here to help. Next slide, please. So polling questions. I want to have Jennifer pop up. So, you know, as a vendor, one of the key things that we are always trying to really drive forth is, what do you need from us, right? So we've put a poll up, and we're kind of interested, what are the key or the top 3 items that are most important to you as a systems integrator? And Steve, you can jump to the next slide while we wait for the poll. All right, well, we can let those poll results collect, but I'll continue through some of the slides here. So one of the big areas that we've really done is we've provided access to instructor-led training, online training, and YouTube channel is something that GE has as well. So we've expanded the instructor-led vouchers so that, you know, as we move up between member level, gold, and platinum, we've increased the number of instructor-led seats that you can get as an organization. In addition, our self-paced courses, we've expanded a lot of the topics in there. So make sure that you're leveraging that as a resource. Those are unlimited. So anybody can get a GE Edge account, log in, and leverage those accounts online, or leverage those courses online. The GE YouTube channel is actually a great resource. As an example, you know, a lot of our new products. So we recently introduced the AWS Cloud Historian. And so it takes a while to get out the formal curriculum for the online and instructor-led, but a lot of times we'll post things. So as an example, we've got how to stand up an AWS Cloud Historian YouTube video that can help people through that. So I would definitely make sure that you're hitting that. And then one of our other commitments to everybody that we set up front was to really focus and expand our efforts on SI focused training and competency. So we introduced several different events that kind of help cater to that. Now we'll pass these slide decks out, and we've got some links to the training areas, the calendars, and the GE YouTube channels as well. Next slide, please.
Hey, Tim, we did receive a question. What are the new incentives being offered to SPs?
There's 2 different types of incentives in there. So they're kind of span across different areas. So you've got an expansion of the ability to get deeper resale discounts in there. And then we've also introduced some new incentives around access to solutions architects and our customer success team. So if you move up to gold and platinum level, we'll engage you with those resources on a one-on-one company basis. You can jump to the next slide, please. All right, now, one of the things that we did introduce as a part of the new launch was to start to ramp up our SI focused events. So hopefully many of you have received the invites that we've been sending out. So since June, we've gone through 10 different SI focused events, and those vary from product and technology to industry trends and updates. So we're going to also be kicking off what we call Systems Integrator office hours, and that should roll out in late October or November. And what those are is those are the opposite of what the webinars are, where the webinars spend about 45 to 50 minutes reviewing the technology and what's changed, and 10 minutes for questions. And we flip that around where we pick a key topic for a product group or a mix of product groups and go through that in the first 10 minutes. And then the remaining 60, or I should say 45 to 50 minutes, is really an open forum question for you as a systems integrator to actually ask questions on integrating a product or a project that you might have. And then also from the future events, we're just on the front end of launching our 2023 coordinated product release. So we'll have 8 individual product updates on brand new features and functions coming out. Next slide, please. So we're also pleased to launch our new branding and recognition. So for most of you that have an AutomaTech person live and in person, you've probably already received your new plaque. So what we've done is we've provided solution provider plaques to all current SP program members. If you have not received yours yet, one will be shipped out. In addition, we've created some lobbyware posters for you. And then the other third item is that as we launch the new certification requirements, we've also put in place 3 new brands for certification. So number 1 is the industrial automation certification. That is a company level certification. The second is the manufacturing execution certification, and that's more focused on companies that target plant apps and MES solutions. Now, you can be both, you can be one, you can be the other. It's really up to you as a systems integrator, which path you choose as your primary focus. And then the third item is an individual engineer certification. So for any engineer that passes that certification for an individual product, can use that certified professional logo. So please use these new logos on your websites, on your literature, on your business cards. Next slide, please. One of the things that I also want to remind everybody is that, you know, if you haven't accessed our community portal, or sometimes referred to as our sales and marketing resources. So we've got things up there like seminar kits. This is where we post a lot of our customer success stories. We have competitive analysts up there, analytics up there on how to sell against. There's functional design specifications, you know, product pricing. So I can't stress enough that if you have any marketing needs, or you want some success stories or things like that, Seismic or the community portal is the place to go. And if you do not have an account or don't know your credentials, you can request those at the account below. Next slide, please. The next thing that I really want to talk about is our customer partner locator. So we've got several plans to really move the user experience and the user interface roadmap forward in 2023. But I can't stress enough for folks that are on this call to make sure that you have a profile. And if you do have a profile, make sure that it's up to date. We get about 1,000 visits per month. And in a lot of cases, you know, when our customers are looking for systems integrators and who's got the skill sets by product or industry, this is where they go. Your AutomaTech team also provides leads to their end customers, and obviously they're going to use their solution providers as preferential integrators. But for the most part, you know, we've got 20,000 customers across 500,000 implementations globally. So they ask all the time. As we start thinking about 2023, you know, we're going to start to integrate in the solution provider tiers, industry segmentation, and then we're going to start to expose the certification information as well. Next slide, please. All right, so just to wrap things up, we're very excited about the new program. And, you know, from a key message, number one, GE Digital is 100% focused on software solutions, and we are investing heavily in our current products and new products. As we move forward, we're also focusing on taking existing products into the cloud. Systems integrators are a key component of our strategy and our ecosystem. So we cannot succeed without you, and we want to continue to work and help you grow your business. Now, I'd like to leave you with really 3 action items as a takeaway. So number one, review the new program. There's a lot of new things in there. Make sure you understand what's new, how to leverage the program. Determine what program best aligns with your business goals. So, you know, if you're at the member level, you've been there for years and you're comfortable with that, there's no need to change. If you want to get more out of GE, if you want to align closer with GE, explore the gold and the platinum levels. Number 2, establish a competency roadmap. and start working towards getting some of those certifications accomplished. It's pretty easy to do if you've worked with the product for the past several years. The certifications are pretty simple and straightforward. Number two, ensure you update and or create your partner locator profile. That is leads for you. I can't stress enough, if you're not on there, please, please, please get on the partner profile. And then number three, learn more. Just where there's so much going on at GE with the products. So hop on those SI webinars. If you miss them, they're all recorded, they're all posted and made available on the partner community portal. And if you can't access them there, please reach out to your AutomaTech rep and they can get them for you. Stay tuned for the SI office hours. So we're going to be ramping those up in late October, early November. And then hop on those 2023 product releases. So we're going to be launching those here fairly soon. So that is going to be where we talk about what's new in the programs and the products. And then we'll roll out forward with another wave of SI focus sessions where we deep dive on those products as well. With that, I want to turn it back over to Steve and answer any questions. And then I put one slide in there if you have any questions on how to create your Edge account where you can get access to the certification tests and all the online training. This is how you do it.
Hey, Tim, thanks a lot for that. Nice job. Good stuff. A lot of awesome information. I think your summary of action items right on point. Hey, at this point, I'm going to turn it over to Jimmy, and Jimmy's going to talk about some of the automation products from GE. And Jimmy, it's all yours.
All right, thanks, Steve. Yeah, I just sort of wanted to start a bit at the higher level first and just sort of give you guys a glimpse into kind of some of the things we're thinking about over the next several years as we continue to evolve our portfolio. These are essentially four of the key themes that we're really focused on. The first one is connected worker. At the end of the day, that's what a lot of our software does, you know, whether you're leveraging iFix, Simplicity, or some of our new tools like Operations Hub. It's really about connecting the worker with the information that they need to really do their job. And I'll talk a little bit about some of the things we have there as well. Composable deployment. You'll see this theme as a big part of our 2023 releases. You know, essentially what we're trying to do is help you define not just an iFix project or a screen or something like that, but really look at, you know, how do we help you manage things at a higher level, looking at multiple projects, making it easy to take those projects that you guys develop and deploy them for your customers. Something that we've been really working to improve over the last little while, and you'll see some new things there as we go through some of the roadmap items. Another thing is, you know, some areas we'll see just simple systems, you know, where it's a single server, single panel type thing. But, you know, what we're seeing a lot in the industry right now is where we're trying to interconnect a lot of our OT systems and really get those centralized views. You know, so we're going to continue to enhance our software products really to help you guys, help your customers really put systems in place like that. You know, whether it's things like centralized monitoring of at the plant level or the multi-site level, you know, and again, we'll talk a bit more about that. And kind of as we evolve, if you start thinking about all that data that we're getting in through those OT systems, you know, pulling it up, you know, whether it's in the cloud or leveraging something like our Historian product that you've hopefully been educated a little bit on as well. You know, really it's taking that next step. We've got that data. How do we turn that data into information so that we're not just talking about a supervisory system as we move forward, but also an advisory system where we can provide additional insights that'll really help the operator do their job, whether it's troubleshooting or control operations. Next slide, Steve. So if I look at kind of how that translates into the upcoming releases, and you'll see this theme through our portfolio. Again, the first is that connected worker, you know, again, providing that right information. You'll see some themes around centralized configuration and management, kind of enabling that deployment scenario, but also being able to really do your development in a more centralized manner. So you'll see some things like single sign-in across our product portfolio. One of the key areas we've really been investing in is around a common model-based configuration. So that's being able to not just build out your database, but start identifying things like equipment, lines, and really starting putting together systems at a higher level and driving that development of the HMI SCADA solution. And a big part of that is also about making it easier to not just build it the first time, but make it easier for continued maintenance of the system as well. A little bit on the deployment side, and we'll get into some details later, but again, here it's how do we help you guys align to what your customers need from a architecture perspective, and then make it easy to deploy and maintain that system. And making it so that you are looking at what makes the most sense, depending on those needs for your customers. Next slide. So talking a little bit about the connected worker, starting to look at, again, really the key here is providing the operator with more than just the traditional HMI experience. We're really trying to enhance that experience so that the operator is able to get more of that information they need to do their jobs. Traditionally it's been the typical HMI on in a control room. Things that obviously have been happening over the last several years, switching to mobile, being able to access information even if I'm mobile. I'm not parked at my desk anymore. I can walk around, get the information I need. And it's not just about control, it's about getting things like that quality data. What's the current machine health? Hey, where's the manual for that piece of equipment that just had the alarm? All that type of information. We really want to bring it more than just the OT data. We also want to augment it with these other systems. And with that, go to the next slide, Steve, if you can. Hopefully you guys have seen our Operations Hub solution. It's been in the market a few years now, but really the goal of Operations Hub is to help really build that connected worker story, beyond the traditional HMI. So hopefully you guys have seen it, but a really quick overview of what Operations Hub's all about. It is a tool that lets you rapidly build applications. And really that's really the key thing is, you want to be able to create custom displays for your customers, or even your customers after you've left that system for them, need to be able to just do some quick create a quick display with some data on it so they can augment what's already there. We want to make it as easy as possible to build out these applications that provide that additional help that they're going to need to do their job. So one of the key things around Operations Hub, as mentioned, is one of them is that screen deployment. And then the other part of it is really being able to connect to more than just your traditional control systems. Obviously, one of the key areas that it does connect to is our SCADA products. So our iFix and Simplicity products. It is the operator interface for our Historian product as well as for our Plant Applications products. So really this is quickly becoming our central place for visualization that spans our portfolio. And as you kind of see on the bottom right, it's not just about our products, but you may also be looking at pulling in data from other systems, whether it's other control systems, relational databases, maintenance systems, et cetera. You'll see that there's a ton of different ways that we can bring data into this Operations Hub. And really the idea, again, is to enable you to quickly identify those data sources and go in and build web applications quickly to, whether it's for things like monitoring and control. We see a lot of applications that are focused on centralizing that control through a single display. It could be dashboards, KPIs for a manufacturing site, data analysis. As mentioned previously, it is the interface for our Historian as well, where you can go in and quickly analyze data through advanced trending and other tools that we provide from a graphical perspective. or it could be digital add-ons. So really, there's a lot of different out-of-box applications that we are providing, as well as obviously providing the tools so you guys can customize that as well. If you go to the next slide, Steve. So really, one of the other key reasons for talking about Operations Hub is also with this upcoming release, you'll see that it is becoming the next generation of HMI application for our SCADAs as well. So it is it is a new offering, a new client offering for iFix and Simplicity. It does have a new web-based designer that's going to allow you to draw your graphics. It'll provide, so whether it's, we will provide several out-of-box widgets, and it'll be a continual opportunity to, for us to add, but also we are providing tools to allow you guys to augment that library as well, or create your own custom library for whatever applications you guys specialize in. So the way we've done that is the graphics are all SVG based. So you can leverage pretty much any third-party SVG tool if you want to create new widgets and add it to our library. And then, of course, all the other basics that come with it are things like the alarming and trending that obviously you're going to expect in any kind of HMI application. But really, where a lot of things start to change and you really start being able to provide additional value is when you start bringing in all that other information, like we've talked about from a connected worker perspective. So I talked about relational database, CMMS systems. Operations Hub also has several out-of-box widgets for things like maps, tabular data, etc. So in the examples you see here, the one on the bottom right, you can have an HMI screen like it shows in the top right part of the of that display, and augment it with other KPIs, maps, tabular data, and even provide interaction between them. So in this example application, you can have pins on a map. You click on the map or click on the pin, and it'll bring up the right HMI screen and all the various metrics for it. So really, again, this is really about enriching the experience for the operator beyond that traditional HMI that we're all used to. And just a quick note, this is a new client offering for our SCADA. The other options do continue to exist. So, our traditional thick clients like the I client or the Simplicity viewer, we still have web space, to help bring in your HMI screens that you might already have into a web-based environment, or things like terminal services. So lots of flexibility in terms of client options depending on the application, the customer, and what they're trying to accomplish. Next slide. So the other theme that we talked a bit about from a strategy perspective is really around deployment and that that central management of your applications. So one of the things you'll start to see, and hopefully you've seen in the previous version of iFix or that came out earlier this year, we do have the concept of centralized management through something we're calling Configuration Hub. So Configuration Hub is our new web-based configuration environment, and it spans across our portfolio. So it is the configuration environment for not just our SCADA products moving forward, but also our Historian and Plant Applications products, if you happen to be using those, as well as where you're going to do a lot of your new HMI development for the new HMI designer. And really the key here is, have it in one place, have it web-based, so I can just hit a web browser onto a server and I can be making configuration changes for my SCADA system. Beyond just that configuration, it's really also about, the configuration part of it is also about that database. Hopefully you saw we introduced the model for iFix in this environment in the previous release. This environment also allows for concurrent development of your HMI SCADA product as well, so that if you do have multiple people working on the same iFix project as an example, that you can control and manage it through this environment. And then some of the other kind of key things here. Obviously, I mentioned the visualization environment, like you see on the right. We've also converged on a common authentication strategy. So you log into Configuration Hub, it also will pass through the configuration for our other products like iFix and Historian as well. So you're not logging in multiple times to do your work. You'll see, hopefully you saw in a previous, our previous release, we do now have solution-based product installation. So we took a new look at the experience of installing our product and really streamlined it and made it easier so that you can just say, hey, I need iFix, I need web space, I need my drivers, click a button and it sets it up for you. So that's another kind of key area, is making it quick and easy to install. And then ultimately at the end of your project, you want to be able to easily deploy it out to the various systems in your solution. You know, as an example here with 3 SCADAs and 2 Historians. Next slide, Steve. One other area you'll see is a common focus across our products is the support for MQTT. So with the upcoming 2023 versions of our SCADA, you'll see that we're offering a new Prophecy MQTT bridge. And really what it is it's a MQTT client, so you can bring in data into Simplicity, iFix, Operations Hub. Our Historian already has MQTT and we'll be updating it using this particular client as well. So really quickly, you know, what is MQTT? Hopefully you guys have heard a little bit of noise. It's been around for a while as the Internet of Things protocol of choice. But it is very lightweight and low power. So it does provide an opportunity to kind of standardize on a way of moving data from, you know, smart sensors or from even more complex systems to the cloud. As per the example here on the right, you'll see I could have potentially several sensors connected through brokers and pull that data into our systems using this new MQTT bridge, which is essentially a client that lets you subscribe to those various MQTT brokers as well. Some of the benefits real quick, low power usage, low bandwidth. It also has the concept of a guaranteed message delivery. You know, so if you are working with slower bandwidth type applications, this is a good way to get those messages delivered and ensure that you've got that. It's also got a concept of leveraging TLS and SSL based security so that, you know, you can get that data from those sensors to your SCADA in a secure manner. And just some examples here of when you should use it. I won't go through these all, but really what it comes down to, like I mentioned, when you've got low bandwidth and things like that. Something we released with our 2022 versions of our products was cloud support. So there is an opportunity, as an example, to run iFix in the cloud and either reach down directly to sensors and get the data into iFix or through some other aggregating broker and getting all your data into the cloud as well to visualizing it through Operations Hub. So again, lots of flexibility here. This really is something you'll see is a message bus that you'll see a lot of standardization across our industry more and more as we continue to move forward. Next slide, Steve.
Hey, Jimmy, we did receive a question. Will this MQTT follow the Sparkplug standard?
Yeah, so I kind of breezed over it real quick. You know, really the thing with MQTT is it's basically a way of transferring a payload from using so it'll be a common payload function that, you know, may depend on what the source is. And what things like that let you do is essentially take that data payload and break it up and basically use it as a method of parsing to get the data from those devices. So our implementation of this will allow you to basically look at that payload and break it apart as needed into, you know, the tags that you're going to bring into iFix as an example. So the answer, that's a long-winded answer to say yes. Okay, so next slide, Steve. So yeah, just sort of coming back now, we talked about some of these key themes, the first one being native HTML5. So with our iFix 2023 release, you will begin to see the new option for our HTML5 based graphics designer, as well as the runtime, of course, for that in Operations Hub. I mentioned about being able to use SVG graphics as to augment what we're providing out of the box. The other key theme was really around central management and deployment. So some of the things that we will be providing in the upcoming iFix release, we've continued to enhance our model to make it even richer for helping you build your applications more quickly. Hopefully you guys understand kind of the benefits of a model really is around being able to do things like templatizing your applications, templatizing your equipment. So when you go to do that next project, you can just start composing your next project using, what the motors, pumps, valves that you might have created, or even just being able to organize those into a good structure to build out your database. One other area that we have made some significant changes with iFix is around how projects are stored, and in what we've done is made it so it is encapsulated. So in support of that central deployment, we have made it so it's a very easy now to, figure out, basically grab all the files that make up an iFix project and deploy it out to the SCADA nodes that you're going to be running it at. So a lot of focus on that this release. We also have done a lot of enhancements around our failover. So one of the things you'll see is, traditionally with our failover function in iFix, it's been using UDP. What we've done is we've now enhanced it to leverage TCP/IP as well. And really what that advantage is, we used to have that recommendation of, have it on the same network and make sure that, you've got a high speed network between the primary and the backup. This actually, with the TCP/IP edition, now allows you to work across networks more easily, or even from SCADA to cloud. So you could technically now have one system in the cloud, one system on site, and have it so it can synchronize to that cloud instance as an example, or it could be across locations and things like that. So really a lot of flexibility or enhancements to that failover is going to allow a lot of flexibility into, how customers want to fail over or handling disaster recovery scenarios. We already did talk about MQTT, and as mentioned, as per the question that came out, we do support SparkLove as well as JSON. Next slide.
Hey, Jimmy,
Yep,
I just got a text message from somebody was asking about Python for iFix.
Yeah, it's not in this release, but it is slated in our roadmap. So one of the things that we're looking at adding for the next release.
Okay,
so we're still in the planning there, but that's the current plan at this point. Next slide. Yep. So the other area that, and you'll see a common theme here between Simplicity and iFix. So again, with Simplicity, same thing with the Operations Hub HMI. It will work with so when you create those screens, you're going to have the flexibility of running that screen against an iFix or a Simplicity server in a common way. Central management wise, Simplicity has had a little bit different focus from a configuration perspective, since Simplicity already did have the model within its configuration. What we're doing is a couple key things in support of that centralized concept. One is around being able to actually pull now projects into the new configuration hub environment. But also if you do have Simplicity projects that are out there and you want to pull them in, you can actually have it so it'll automatically take existing models in Simplicity and bring them into the configuration hub environment. And we've added support for prophecy. We will be adding, support for prophecy authentication. So again, just to handle that common login across our portfolio. From a security and high availability perspective, with Simplicity, we will be adding OPC UA client server communications as an option. So today, Simplicity server talks to the clients using a broadcast method, essentially, where the clients get the data from the server. We will be adding an option to use OPC UA. So where the OPC UA will have an advantage is it is certificate-based communications and that can be highly secured. So if you do have clients that need to talk to servers across networks, it's just, or even from cloud to site or through VPNs, et cetera, it is just another way of being able to get the data in a more secure manner. We'll also be adding digital screen signing so that we can detect if any kind of screens or scripts have been tampered with in the actual developed screen. So if a customer has a deployed screen and all of a sudden we go and check it and it fails the signature, it's not going to let you do anything. So it'll, that's just another form of really securing and making sure there's no tampering. And with Simplicity, again, we will be also having the MQTT that we've spoken about with iFix as well. So this is a common solve we've done across the portfolio.
Hey, Jimmy, I got the same question again for Simplicity and Python.
Oh, okay, so Simplicity actually added Python in the previous release, so it's available today in the 2022 release. We added Python to the event manager, so when scripts get triggered, you have the choice of using the traditional basic script, the .NET scripting that was added several years ago, and now you'll also have the option for Python as well. So it is available today with the 2022 release.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yep.
So Jimmy, thank you so much for that. We're coming up on the top of the hour. What I thought we would do is maybe just talk about some questions from anybody. And as we're looking at Jen, probably another polling question. So two things. As a systems integrator, what solutions are you hearing from your customers? What are the top things that are driving either MRO-centric business or project business with you and your customers? So reduce costs, visualization, extract data to the cloud, predictive analysis, strategies, artificial intelligence platforms, drive robotic automation to improve efficiencies, plant floor cybersecurity, so shoring things up, deliver on datalization with KPIs, drive smart manufacturing, digital transformation, drive cloud solutions. So thank you very much for that. By the way, some of these questions were similar to some of the JP Morgan CSIA systems integrator questions that were probed to you some time ago, but we just wanted to do an update on this. So this is awesome. So with that being said, let's just open it up for a little bit of, before we get to the truly the top of the hour, any questions out there that the integrators community has. So if you guys want to undo your microphones, love to hear from you on whether it's AutomaTech, whether it's GE on the product side, whether it's the SP program rollout that Tim talked about, or we're hoping you're enjoying your coffee as well.
Hey Steve, this is Prasad. Just one quick thing, just one general question to the audience. There were questions on Python. What we wanted to know, as we also think about OPSAV as the HMI, is, are you all thinking about Python more on the client side as a scripting requirement, or are you thinking about Python more on the server side that would do the scripts that will serve the client? So you could just type your responses in the chat, but this just since there was interest in Python specifically.
Yeah, if anyone wants to speak, please just raise your hand and I can actually unmute you. Or feel free to type your questions or comments into the Q&A or chat section.
Hey, Jennifer, there was a question that Jack Nettleman sent in, and I don't know if the answer got out to all the attendees, but the question was on certification and how that works if it's attached to the individual. So the way the certification works is each test is taken by the engineer, and the engineer is the one that carries that certification for the company. If they leave, then we have to recertify another engineer. The way the industrial automation and manufacturing certifications work is each one of those is comprised of 3 tests. So as an example, in industrial automation, there's an HMI. So either iFix or Simplicity, Operations Hub, and Historian are the 3 tests that are made up for that industrial automation certification. And then it's Historian, Ops Hub, and Plant Apps for the manufacturing execution. So hopefully that helps.
Yeah, great question, Jack. So I think at this point, we're at the top of the hour, but I'm going to just cursor up to the beginning of our slide deck. I just really wanted to say, SP there, thanks again for being awesome partners with AutomaTech and CB and GE. We really, really appreciate our partnership with you. We absolutely want to drive competency with you. We want to drive business with you. Again, if you are in those situations where your customers are demanding cybersecurity, they're demanding, hey, how do I migrate my multiple SCADA servers from X to Y? If you're looking at, gee, how do I deploy high availability servers and compute platforms? How do I migrate to the cloud? Let us know. We've got really wicked smart people. We're here to work with you and really complement what you're doing and ensure that when customers are migrating from system A to system B or from legacy systems to more contemporary systems, we're going to hold hands together. We're going to work and drive solutions together. That's what we are for in working with our SIs and our SPs that are out there. So we look forward to that. And again, thanks for your great partnership. We really appreciate it. And Jen, thanks for all your hard work. And to our presenters, from Evan to Prasad, to Jimmy, to Tim, we thank you for your partnership. And we're going to conclude this call at this point. So thank you so much, everyone.
Hey,
Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.